Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good whenever you're watching this. Welcome to the very first episode of Podjiast, a podcast series where I, Jana, your host, read out situations, comment on them, and link them to my personal experiences. Now you may be wondering, who is this girl? Why is she holding this goofy, tiny mic? I will get to that later. So first of all, hi, I'm Jana Mikaela. I'm 15 years old. I like singing, dancing, K-pop, giving advice to guys who like my friends, and many more things that a regular teenage girl would like. So that brings us back to the question, why? What is this all for? So, first of all, aside from the fact that I'm 15 years old, I am a grade 10 student in the International Baccalaureate Middle Years program of Chiang Kai-shek College. And when you reach grade 10, while you're in the IB program, you have to do something called a personal project. And considering that I really like giving advice to people, and I really like talking, I figured that this could be a fun project and a fun way to end my years in MYP and possibly Chiang Kai if I get into DLSU. Anyway, I'd like to share some of my goals for this podcast, just so you can follow along throughout the podcast series. I aim to know more about myself and to know more about my audience and to be able to help my audience. So it's sort of going to be like a win-win situation because I'm going to get to know more about myself and you're going to be able to get comments from me and possibly help. So, to just start off this episode, I'd like to read a situation that was sent to me. It's something that I've been relating to a lot recently, and it was sent to me by a DP student. So it reads, "Hi, I'm a DP student and I struggled with anxiety during the pandemic, specifically overthinking in terms of my personal abilities and what I fear the most when being criticized by others." So what I see here is like two things. First is the overthinking of, or like doubting your capabilities and fearing failure and criticism. So let's first talk about the fear of failure and criticism. I feel like a piece of advice that everyone receives is that failures and criticisms help you improve. So you should take them, learn from them, and turn them into something positive. You should learn from these mistakes and turn them into something positive. Learn from them so that you can grow as a better person. And I totally agree with that. Because you can't keep on beating yourself up on like mistakes that you make throughout your life, because that's going to hinder you from the continuous cycle of growth in life. Me personally, I move on from embarrassing mistakes. I mean, to be honest, every mistake that I make is embarrassing to me, even if no one saw it. It's like, but I move on quickly. But that may not be the same case for everyone. So, it's not necessarily easy to move on from specific mistakes, but eventually you have to move past from these mistakes that you've made. Because if you keep on beating yourself up just for one mistake that you made, or like a few mistakes that you've made in your life, you're not going to be able to grow. It's going to hinder you from doing so much more things that you're capable of. So with that, I guess we can move on to the second, or like the other point, which is that you doubt your capabilities and what you can do. So me personally, this is also something that I actually struggle with, so it's not necessarily something that I could give a lot of advice for, but I just want to say that I totally relate to this. But The one thing that I've been working on recently, and one thing that I would also advise others to do, is to develop a healthier mindset and build a better relationship with yourself. Be kinder to yourself. Because I believe that in this world, there are definitely going to be other people that are not going to be nice. They're not going to be understanding, considerate, sensitive. Sometimes people are just mean, and we can't really do anything about that. But one person that's always going to be with you from the start to the end of your life is yourself. So you should start loving yourself first before you think about others. It's important to be empathetic and to think about others, but we should definitely start with self-love so that we can build a healthy relationship with others. Because it would not be nice that we build healthy relationships for others. Like, we do a lot of good things for others, but we don't do good things for ourselves. It's not the right way to treat yourself. You deserve better. And, not everyone's going to be nice. So, sometimes you just have to live your life for yourself and explore what you can do. And you don't have to pressure yourself in being the best when it comes to these specific skills, because life is a continuous cycle of growth, and if you doubt yourself sometimes, like when you think you're good at something, well, this is sort of a personal experience, but there are some times when I feel like I'm good at something and I see other people that are better at me than doing that specific thing. I sort of doubt everything. Like, was I really good at it in the first place, or did I just feel I was good because people were praising me, because they were like pitying me and stuff like that? So it's like inevitable to doubt your skills once in a while, but you have to remind yourself that if you want to improve, then you can improve. You can do it. You have to remind yourself and encourage yourself that you can continuously grow, because I believe that life is a continuous cycle of growth, and we can continue to improve as long as we set our mind on our goals. So you shouldn't pressure yourself on having to be the best. And if you doubt some of your capabilities, you doubt if you're good at these things, I would just like to say that you don't have to be the best at everything. You don't have to have that special talent just for people to like you. Sometimes you just have to be you, and like, that's me right now. Like, to be honest, I doubt the success of this personal project, like, especially because the quality is like so casual, but that's the theme that I wanted to go for this whole podcast series, because I wanted to make it be like some sort of like chikahan between friends, like we're talking one-on-one with each other. But yeah, there's honestly a lot of uncertainties, but sometimes you just have to do your best, and as long as you're enjoying what you do, then that's enough. As long as you're happy, then that's enough. Because, once again, from the start to the end of your life, there's only going to be you beside you. So, yeah. Thank you very much for tuning in to the very first episode of Podjiast, and I hope we have a good time with each other in the future episodes. Bye!